Hello everybody, Raven Knight here, and welcome back to another How to Build Faction Edition. So what I've been doing is I've been kind of building my own factions in For Honor and kind of teaching you guys how to build those characters and kind of giving a little bit of background on them without building a huge, super long legend for each one. But today we're going to be looking at a very old faction that I've made. This faction I made a long time ago. It is called the Blue Dragon Corps. It is a Wulin faction, the Aoqing, and it is run by Tao Jingyi. Tao Jingyi, that is the Zhongjun you're looking at right now. I have made a legend about this guy. It's one of my favorite legends that I've ever written. Please, please, please go watch it. I don't want to spoil the awesome twist in the legend. Please watch it. I'll leave a link in the description for you to go see it, but please watch it. I absolutely love that legend. I would love you guys to see it. I also have a how to build video on him already, so you already know how to build him, and his character really hasn't changed all that much. So if you want to know how to build this guy, go check out that video. I'm not going to go into that right now. What I will say is the basics of his story is this. Back in the day, Tao Jingyi was one of the best Wulin generals out there. He served under the former Emperor Gao Lei with distinction, honor, and victory constantly. This guy was a unit. All the rest of China learned to fear this dude. Even Gao Lei was kind of like, dude, why am I the leader? You should be the leader, man. You're so awesome. And he said, nah, man, I'll never take your spot. I'll never be the leader. That's not what I want. But he was winning all these battles. One day, though, his beautiful wife gets captured by an enemy army in China, and they threaten him. They say, if you lay down your weapons now and surrender to us, or we kill her. But rather than be used as a bargaining chip, rather than be used as a hostage, his wife impales herself on the spear of one of the enemy so that she can't be used against her husband. Enraged, Tao Jingyi leads the armies of the Wulin and decimates the whole enemy army, just destroys them. But now he's lost his wife and he is heartbroken. He's destroyed. It has broken him inside and out. And it's just pitiful to see. But with Gao Lei defeated, with Gao Lei gone now, as you guys know, at the fall of Chang Pass, Gao Lei has been ousted as the emperor. There is no emperor of the Wulin anymore. They're kind of leaderless and fractured. The loyal Blue Dragon Corps, they're all loyal to Tao Jingyi. They now look to him as their leader, so he can't just go and off himself. He can't, unalive himself. He can't do that. He has people he has to look after. He has a purpose in taking care of his military, his soldiers, and so he now lives on to take care of them. But he is still a man in search of his duty. What he really wants to do is find a way to ensure the prosperity and longevity of his Blue Dragon Corps, make sure that they're taken care of and that they can live on beyond him, and then he will retire and go off and be with his wife again. So it's a very sad story, and again, there is a really big twist about his legend, and you've got to go see it yourself. So again, link it in the description. Please go watch it. I really, really like this character, and I feel like he is so underappreciated by the community. Please, please, please check this guy out. The people who know his legend have actually said he should be the new emperor of the Wulin. He should challenge General Zhe and challenge him for the position. So if you guys agree, let me know in the comments, because I'd love to write a little fun legend about him meeting General Zhe and the two actually going at it. I think that'd be really cool. But anyway, that's the leader of the Blue Dragon Corps. Now, there's another member of the Blue Dragon Corps you guys already know, and that is Lin Meihua, my Nusha character. She is a member of the Blue Dragon Corps as well. If you don't know her legend, again, that legend will be in the description below. Please go check it out. It's another one that I really enjoyed writing. I love the design of her, and I've already done a how to build Lin Meihua, so if you want to build her yourself, that video already exists. I'll leave that link in the description as well. And it really hasn't changed at all, so definitely go get that. I think you will really like building her. It's such a cute design. I really think I think that this is one of my top tier designs for any of my characters, and I absolutely love how she came out. For those who need a quick refresher on the lore, again, I won't spoil anything, but I'll give you the basics. Lin Meihua's father was a minor officer in the Wulin forces, and her mother was just a simple lady, like no real honor to her, but she was renowned for her beauty and her grace and her style. So she eventually earned her place as a consort in the emperor's own rear palace, and she became something of a concubine. In exchange for her being a dancer, entertainer, and basically concubine, her father was elevated in position to a higher level like a colonel, and her mother was well taken care of. Her family was taken care of as long as she gave what she needed to. However, as you know, when the event of Chang Pass happened, Gao Lei was exiled, and several loyal Wulin officers who didn't join Horkos were executed, including her father and mother. This devastated Lin Meihua, and she eventually had to wander in search of a new purpose and a new life, and that is where she eventually found Tianqi Long. Again, I will not spoil how that happened or what she did to get to that point. You've got to go listen to the legend to hear the full thing, but that is essentially her story. Now she is basically the Blue Dragon's assassin. She is basically the one who infiltrates enemy strongholds, assassinates their leadership, gets information. She is their basically cunning blade, and she has the title the Long Jihuo, which is the dragon's fire, because she is the one who cooks the enemy inside and out. She is the one who takes them out. She is the dragon's, so another name for her could be the dragon's poison, the dragon's fangs, like something like that. But anyway, she is known as the Long Jihuo. All right, so that is Lin Meihua. Again, you can go build it yourself in the other video. We're not going to go into that here. Today, what I want to do is look at the characters you don't know yet, the characters who don't have their own videos yet. So let's not waste any time. Let's get started with our very first one, this guy. Okay, so everyone meet Wong Chang. This is Wong Chang. Wong Chang is a Tiandi. His name, now the name here is kind of a joke. His name can translate to strong night or strong evening, and I will explain the meaning of that joke a little bit later. Now, here's the story behind this guy. He was actually a Mongol. Yeah, not even kidding. This guy was actually a Mongol back in the early days of Gul'jin's rampant unification of the Mongol steppe. Because remember, that's what she was doing. Once she started gaining power, she began to either destroy Mongol tribes who didn't join with her or assimilate them. His tribe didn't join her, so they were destroyed. And he had to run away with his family, but they were eventually caught up with, and they killed his family by burning. His wife and son were first. They burned his wife and son in front of his eyes, and then they burned him. But before he died to the fires, the Blue Dragon Corps showed up because as the lore says, the Mongols and the Wu Lin have been enemies for years. So if the Blue Dragon notices the Mongols are up to something, he's going in and putting a stop to it. So he saw the smoke in the horizon, went over to check it out, and saved this guy. He really understands Tianqi Long's situation with the death of his wife, because he just lost his wife, and they kind of form a kindred understanding of each other. Like, they both understand what it's like to lose loved ones. And he swears his loyalty to the Blue Dragon for saving his life and giving him his chance to get revenge. Now, his body is badly burned, and he lost vision in one of his eyes. One of his eyes is pale, and he has no vision in it, and we'll go into how to make that happen in the game as well. And so he has sworn vengeance on Gul'jin and the Mongol Hatuns who betrayed him and killed his family, because he did nothing to them. All he did was he wanted his tribe to have its own independence, and Gul'jin didn't give it. One thing you may notice about me and my writing with Gul'jin is I don't paint her as this hero of peace or anything, because I don't believe she is. I believe there's a lot more to her than that. But anyway, he is known as the dragon's left hand, the Long De Zuoshu. And forgive me if I'm butchering the pronunciation. Chinese is not the language I studied among the Asian languages. But I'm doing my best here. So he is the dragon's left hand. Now I will teach you how to build Wan Tiang. All right. So here's how you do it. First, you need the Shui Shou helm. And this is vital, because if you look at the helm, you notice how one eye is scarred and pale. That is essential. So this is not a matter of, oh, I could do a different. No, you need this helm, the Shui Shou helm, Shui Shou chest and Shui Shou arms. You need this set because you're going to get that pale eye, which is important for later. Next, you need the Huo blade, Curse Ling Tu hilt, an austere ribbon. I like the Huo blade because it represents the fire he survived. He came out of the fire and he survived. The other thing I like about this armor is you can kind of see the scars and burns on his body. Maybe he has a tattoo on the side there to cover a very bad burn. And the armor itself looks very scorched, doesn't it? It looks worn and scorched, which I think really fits the idea that he survived the fire. So that is how you make him look like this. Next, traits. Default 1, skin color. You can go with default, or you can go with the second off. Don't do the pale. Do one of these two, okay? Because that's going to give him the more burned look. Chest and back. No paint pattern, no symbol, no embossing. You don't need any. You don't need for the chest and back, okay? Oh, wait, no, I apologize. I made a slight mistake. My fault. Forget what I just said. I had it set to something I shouldn't have. Okay, you do need a paint pattern. You need the Apotropiac spell 2. Apotropac spell 2. I can't speak today because it looks like fire. Okay, it looks like fire coming up. Okay, so you want that fire look for the back and front. So you want the Apotropiac spell 2. Okay, got it. Thank goodness. No ornament needed. Right shoulder. You need the Sharp Tangles 5 embossing, which you get at Reputation 19, level 20. And for the left shoulder, you want the Fiery Blows 1 paint pattern, which you get from the Art of War Elite outfit. And you want the Ao Chen Stream 7, which you get from the Ao Chen Illustrious outfit. And the reason you want that is because he is now loyal to the Blue Dragon. So he now is 100% loyal to the dragon. For material, okay, follow me on this one. The base material is firewood. The base material is firewood, but with 2 overrides. The head is black iron, and the legs are black iron. The reason I went with firewood is because it gives again a charred image, but the black iron are parts of the armor that were not as charred, so they still gleam just a little bit. So again, you want firewood as your base with the head and legs as black iron. Okay, all right. For the standards, you want the Quoon 1 paint pattern, which you get at Reputation 6, and that's it. And then for the legs, went past it. You want the Neon Gao 3 symbol, which you get at Reputation 18. Okay? Awesome. For the color scheme, y'all ready? Color scheme is Transit Umbra. The Transit Umbra gives it this dark flame kind of appearance in the paint pattern that I really think looks good. You got to go with the Transit Umbra. It's just perfect for you. You get it from the Black Prior's Riposte bundle, so you should have this one if you've done the Black Prior event, which I think has come up twice now. So you should have it. If not, sorry to hear that. All right, moving on. For the feats, Rallying Call, Doom Banner, Vital Leech, and Last Laugh. I see him as something of not a hardcore nihilist, but he's the kind of person who's willing to, put himself in harm's way because he doesn't see a lot of reason to live anymore. He's kind of like, I'm going to live and keep doing as much damage as I can to the enemy, and if I die, I die, So Rallying Call helps out his allies. Doom Banner hurts those around him, especially his enemies. Vital Leech allows him to keep on fighting even when his health is low. And the Last Laugh, if he does die, he's taking you with him, All right. Executions, I use Keep Trying. Yiru Fan Chang. Hold this. And Feng Closa. All right, so I use these because these two specifically are, again, that kind of I don't care if I die kind of attitude. I'm going to do as much damage to you as I like before I go. And he's literally putting himself in harm's way because, in a sense, this is how he keeps himself going, putting himself at risk, knowing that he's that much closer to death. Hold this is just a quick way to kill, and Feng Closa shows his overall skill. Emotes, I use Sui Shi and After You. And for free roam, I use Show and Tell, and it's just dirt. Most of these are just your basics, like not a lot to them. These are your basics, but it's just dirt. I felt fit because he's just kind of worn out about it all. For signatures, I use Junji. Looks good, right? And then for effects, all right, follow me on this one. You want the Hypnotic Eye for the idol. Get it while you can. It's only available, I think, for 5 more days and it goes away. So get that Hypnotic Eye because it will go right over his blind eye, which is perfect. Okay, you want that. In fact, you could use that effect for everything. If you don't have the other effects that we're going to talk about, you could just get Hypnotic Eye for everything and use that because it works so well. That blind flaming eye, I think, works really well here. Okay. But for executions, I use the Phantom Horse for everything. Now, why did I use the Phantom Horse? Watch carefully and I'll show you. Watch the horses go by. There are 2 horses that go by. 2 horses. One for his wife, one for his son. In his way of thinking, the spirit of his family is still with him, fighting alongside him, and they will appear when he draws blood from his enemy. Now, I thought about doing the Phantom Horse for his idol, but it's only 1 horse, and I thought, you know what, since it was his wife and son, I saved it for the execution. But if you want, you can go Phantom Horse on him as well. It will still work. All right, for free roam, I use Bursting Flame on everything to represent his survival of the fire. And that is how you build Wan Chang. That is how you build Wan Chang. How do you like him, guys? What do you think? Do you like this Tiandi build? Do you think it's a good one? Do you think his story is good? Let me know what you think down in the comment section below. Would love to hear your thoughts. But now we're moving on to the next one. Y'all ready? Let's do it. All right, here we are, guys. This is the next one. This is Chen. Chen. Now, her name is another part of the joke that I did with the first Tiandi. The first Tiandi, Wong Qiang, his name meant strong night. Her name means shining morning. Chen. And I thought that the two really would be a good counter to each other. All right, so let me explain her story. So, get this. And this is heavy. Chen, I actually thought about making this into a full legend, but we'll see. Chen was the daughter of a renowned military officer. This was before the defeat of Gao Lei. She was just a little girl at the time. Her mother was always a very sickly, weak woman. She suffered from an illness for a very long time, and she was constantly having to take care of her mother while her father was away doing military stuff. Now, she never had a problem with her father being away. You know, her father's a soldier. He's fighting the emperor's battles. It's what he has to do. But when she was about 13 or 14 years old, she learns that she learns about the defeat of Gao Lei, and her father never returned. So she assumes that her father has been killed protecting the emperor. So it's heartbreaking for her. This is so terrible for her. This is so awful. She hates it. But what's worse is with Gao Lei dead, there's no emperor of the Wulin anymore. And now China is going to go right back to its civil war to decide who will rule over China. And her mother knows that this is no place for Chen to be. So her mother takes her own life so that Chen will not be tied down by her. She's like, I'm going to take my life so that you don't have to keep taking care of me and you can go and escape to safer lands in Heathmore. This breaks her heart that her mother had to do this. It breaks her heart that her mother made this choice, but she understands it and she's going to honor her mother's wishes, and she flees to Heathmore to find safety and salvation. Along the way, she grows and teaches herself how to fight. She learns how to wage war. She's not as skilled as your average Tiandi, but she uses her father's fortune that she established, because, you know, when she has a bit of money from her father's time in the military, to make sure that she has armor and weapons necessary to be able to allow her to fight and actually endure. So from trial and error, she actually teaches herself the ways of war. And then she meets him, Tian Xilong. She meets the Blue Dragon himself, and she tells her story. He takes pity on her and says, hey, why don't you stick with me for a while? Why don't you stick with me in my band? And he trains her, makes sure that she's taught up and raises a Tiandi. And then she reveals, wait, hold on, maybe you knew my father. And she gives her father's name. Time for the bad news. He reveals your father didn't die. He deserted. He ran off with his mistress before Gao Lei was exiled. He's a traitor. Ooh, she was not happy to hear that. So she is furious that her father didn't come home, furious that her father ran away like a coward instead of dying fighting for the emperor. And third, revealed that he had a mistress when his wife was at home and in need. She's furious about this. She is outraged about this. And so she despises her father. And but unlike some who'd be like, I want revenge, she's like, I want nothing to do with him. Whether he lives or dies is not my business. I don't want anything to do with him. I'm serving the Blue Dragon. And so she becomes the dragon's fangs, the Long de Liao Ya, which, if I recall correctly, that means the dragon's fangs or the dragon's teeth. So she is now his teeth. She is a very hyper-aggressive, furious warrior who will take no prisoners and believes firmly in fighting and dying for her master, the Blue Dragon, because she served her mother. She looked up to her father. Now her mother's gone and her father's a traitor. She now serves a Blue Dragon because she needs someone to latch onto, and that is him. So now you know her story. Let's teach you how to build her. God, I love making stories. Okay, first of all, Guanjun helm, Guanjun chest, Guanjun arms. I'm not looking for anything fancy here. We're not looking for anything crazy or fancy, right? We're just creating a decent looking set of armor. The Zhanlu blade, Sanxing hilt, avant-garde Gongjiang ribbon. Okay? The Zhanlu blade, Sanxing hilt, avant-garde Gongjiang ribbon. Doesn't that look very nice? I think it's a very nice looking set. Gives her a very clean, very strong, imposing image. I think it's good. Okay? All right, for traits, alternate 2, skin color default. For chest and back, no paint pattern, no symbol, but the embossing is the Sharp Tangles 5. I just think that gives a very good etching into the skin, into it. It gives it a good, I would say, sensation. It makes it look like it has some kind of texture to it. For the ornament, nothing. For the right shoulder, you want the Gracious 1 paint pattern, which you get at Reputation 15, level 4, and you want the Shrine 3 symbol, which you should automatically get. For the left shoulder, you want the Fence 6 paint pattern, which you get at Reputation 7, level 2. And then the Masterful Durability embossing. It's going to be very hard to see, but it gives a texture of the dragon, which is what we want. For the material, all right, your base is going to be torchlight with one exception. The legs will be bronze because it symbolizes her constant wandering. But the base will be torchlight, okay? For the standards, you want the Gaolei's Breath 3 paint pattern, which gives a really cool looking dragon paint pattern. I think that looks great. And then the Masterful Durability embossing. But if you don't have that, just leave it as is, looks good either way. For the legs, you want the Masterful Mask 1 paint pattern, and then nothing else. Pretty easy. And then for the color scheme, the Hushed Forest paint pattern, which you get from playing ranked matches. Yeah, so you got to play Tiandi in some ranked matches to get this, but the Hushed Forest paint pattern is what you want, okay? Okay, now here's her feats. Rallying Call, Sacrifice, Protected Revive, Last Laugh. So Rally Call, I think, works because she's going to encourage people around her. Sacrifice, because she would rather let other people live at her own cost, because she is a dutiful Tiandi. She's going to serve loyally. Protected Revive, she's going to continue to help people who have been downed. And then Last Laugh, if I go out, you're going out too, All right, executions. Dagger Fumble, because like I said, she's not super well trained. She's had to teach herself a little bit, so a little bit of a struggle makes sense. Monsoon Frenzy, Relentless Cyclone, and Fang Closa. All right, now I chose these because this is just badass, honestly. Relentless Cyclone shows her skill, but it also shows that she's a little static, and I thought that would fit for someone who's self-trained. Feng Closa is, I felt like that might be just something that Tiandi of the Blue Dragon Corps just know, like it's something they've had to teach themselves, so I thought that would work. For emotes, Watch and Learn, and Tui La. For combat, Suishi and Prepared. I just thought those would work. I just think they look pretty. I think they look good for her. That's why I chose them. Not a lot of other reason behind that. Signature to the I choose Allegiance to the Empire, because at the end of it all, she has always been allied to the Wulin. She believes in the Wulin, she believes in the strength of the Empire, and she is allied with them. So she serves the Blue Dragon because she believes he is the rightful emperor of the Wulin. And then effects. For idle, none. For execution, I use Thunderous Rage for all but the dagger execution. I use it for everything else because she's angry. She's angry at what has been done wrong to her empire, to her mother, and the evil that her father did in being a traitor. She's angry, and I thought we could emphasize that anger in this effect. And then for free roam, I use Wulin Victory, and for combat, Wulin Victory as well. She is fiercely loyal to the Wulin. And that is how you build Huang Chen. Huang Chen. What do you guys think? Hope you guys like her. Do you guys enjoy her story? Do you think you'll build her yourself? Let me know down in the comment section below. Would love to know your thoughts about the dragon's fangs. All right. Next up, we are not done. Next up, say hello to the right hand of the dragon. This is Yong Kai. I had my notes here and it just, my notes were off on the wrong page. So this is Yong Kai, a Zhongjun. Now, let's talk a little bit about this guy. This guy was the dragon's right hand for years. He is the Longji Yoshu. He is actually one of the most devoted individuals that Tianqi Long knows. He has been his underling. his student. He sees Tian Long as his mentor, his master, the closest thing to a father figure he has, and he looks up to him in the biggest way. He truly believes that Tian Long was meant to be the emperor and has always wanted him to do that. He believed in him. He looks up to him. He wants to learn under him. This guy is awesome. And the only reason that Tian Long doesn't elevate him to general as well alongside him is just because he's a little bit too, aggressive in everything he does. He needs to learn patience, and that's the problem with him. But Tian Long loves him like a son, cares about him. He's a good guy, right? When Tian Long's wife is killed, he feels nothing but remorse for his mentor's loss, but he also doesn't trust the emperor because he believes that the emperor may have had something to do with it. And he constantly tells Tian Long, dude, you should become the emperor. You should become the emperor. And Tian Long is always like, dude, stop saying that. Stop telling me to do that. I'm not going to betray the emperor that way. Even when Gao Lei dies and he's like, dude, now's your chance to become the emperor. He's like, I refuse to do that. I refuse to do it. It's not my destiny. But he always believes that Tian Long should be the emperor and it should be his destiny. And so he continues to follow him to this day because he sees him as the one true emperor of all of China. So now I'll teach you how to build him. Here's how you build him. You need the Guanxing helm, the Ling Hun chest, and the Hong Shui arms. One more time. Guanxing helm, Ling Hu chest, Hong Shui arms. Okay, that's how you build his armor. For his weapon, you want the traitorous Lao Bing blade, traitorous Lao Bing shaft, traitorous Lao Bing spike. Doesn't that just look so good? Doesn't that make him look like a G? I think so. For the traits, default 1, skin color. I go with a paler look on this guy, but you can go default, it's fine. Chest, no paint pattern, no symbol, but the embossing, Sharp Tangles 2, which you get a reputation 8 level 20. Sharp Tangles 2. You could go without, honestly, but I just like that texture. No ornament for the right arm. No paint pattern, no symbol, no embossing. For the left arm, no paint pattern, no symbol, no embossing. Just looks good as is. For the material, all right, follow me on this one. Gold is your base, but for the head, you want bronze. And for the arms, you want white iron. Now, you might be wondering, bronze, I can kind of see. Why white iron? Because watch this. What changes? Not the armor itself, but the coloring on the arm sleeves. And I think it would look really good if those stood out a bit more as white. So I went with the white iron on the arms. See, looks kind of cool. Sometimes you got to pay attention to those little details. For the back, you want the Canopy 4 paint pattern, which you get a reputation 4 level 3. And you want the Might of Wyverndale embossing because it symbolizes his true unity to the dragon, right? Okay. For standards, no paint pattern. You want the Deer Wish 1 symbol, which you get at reputation 10. And that's it for that. For the color scheme, you ready? Color scheme is Paragons, which you get at reputation 23 level 16. Paragons. I think that Paragons matches the overall color scheme of this outfit beautifully. So I went with Paragons. I think it looks really, really good. Okay, now for the feats, I go with Deadly, Executioner's Respite, Tough as Nails, and Fiery Barrage. Remember what I said, this guy lacks patience. He's the kind of guy who believes, let's go get him right now, let's go beat him up. And quite often, Tian Long has to put a hand on his shoulder and go, slow down, not yet. Because he's a good guy, he's got the right heart, but he's just a little bit too ambitious. So Deadly and Executioner's Respite work well for that because it's all about him getting in and getting the damage quickly. Tough as Nails is, him always having to endure a lot of punishment because he gets himself into trouble. And Fiery Barrage is his artillery usage to help give him an edge. For his executions, he has Be Quiet, Slammed Head, Backhand Spiral, and Shifu's Punishment. I just thought that a lot of these were hyper aggressive and very strong and, just showing this guy who's just not very patient. He's the kind of guy who wants to get things done quick. For emotes, let me go ahead and turn this off. Your Grave. Because he's a cocky bastard. He's kind of like, I'm gonna dig your grave, bro. Armed and Ready, Combat, My Pleasure, and Eyes on You. I thought those worked very well for him. For signature, Aged Ginger. Kind of like, try crossing this. Just try it. You can't do it. You can't do it. So I thought that would work for his signature. And for effects, all right, follow me on this one. Wulin Victory is his idol. Execution. For backhand spiral and Sifu's punishment, I use Gao Lei's ultimate. Because I think that this just feels very strong. It feels like this is him finally starting to grasp the point, you know? Because both of these show great skill and determination, and I thought, you know what, this is where he's truly accessing his skills as a leader and a warrior. These two feel a little bit too angry and forceful, so they might not be him accessing his true potential. Free roam, nothing and nothing. Just keep those playing. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you build Yong Kai. That is Yong Kai. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Would love to hear your thoughts. Would love to hear your opinion. Let me know if you're going to build this guy. Would love to hear it. All right. And now the last one that I've made. The last one. Meet Tao Jingyi. Tao Jingyi. All right, so this guy, not a lot to his story. He's actually been a friend of Tian Qilong for many years, since they were like children together, almost children, like probably more like teens. And he's always been a voice of reason to Tian Qilong, like a confidant, a friend, an advisor. He's always been there to try to give him like the wise counsel. He's a very strong, very well thought out, wise individual. That's why he earned the nickname the Dragon's Mind. He is the dragon's brain. And so he is the one who helps lead and guide Tian Qilong. He personally sees no glory in conquering Heathmore. He never thought it was a good idea, even when Gao Lei was alive, because to him, he's like, why are we trying to conquer and invade and take Heathmore when we could still save China? Gao Lei took over China. He's now the leader of China. He could use his strength to rebuild China. And he's like, you want to know why he won't do it? Because Gao Lei's not a real good emperor. He's a great leader. He's a military mind, sure, but he's no leader. And he turns to Tian Qilong and says, you should be the emperor. You should become the emperor. And when Gao Lei is exiled, he goes again. You should be the emperor. And just like before, Tian Qilong goes, that is not my destiny. But he has a comeback. He actually tells him, there are those who are slaves to destiny and those who forge it by their own will. And I have always known you to be the latter. He believes that Tian Qilong is destined to be the emperor, but he has to believe himself to be the emperor. This guy is old, he's aged, he's seen a lot of conflict, but he is very, very wise, and he wants to help Tian Qilong achieve the destiny he was always meant to. So, here's how you build the Shaolin. You need the Zhongfu helm, Jihua chest, and Jinsei arms. Do that again. Zhongfu helm, Jihua chest, Jinsei arms. That is what you need to make the armor. For the weapon, you want the famous Yongshi shaft, the holy top, and the holy bottom. There you go. Pretty easy. Not too hard to build. For his traits, default 1, skin color default. Pretty easy. Chest, you want the Canopy 3 paint pattern. And you want the Shrine 8 symbol, which you get at Reputation 27, level 15. So you better get your Shaolin up there. No ornament, don't need one. For the right arm, nothing, and nothing. I think it looks good. Now, if you really wanted to put something there, you could put an embossing, I guess. Like, I guess you could do like, some of these look good. Like, maybe you could go with a sharp triangle 3. The sharp tangles 3, yeah, it's not bad. Actually, no, sharp tangles 2 actually looks better. You know what? We'll put the sharp tangles 2 on that. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Sometimes as I look back at something, I come up with an idea while I'm looking at it. That's why it sometimes takes me a long time to make a good design, because I'll look at it 3 times, but then on the 4th time, I'm like, you know what? I like this better. So yeah. So anyway, for left and right arm, the only thing you should add is the sharp tangles 2 or whatever embossing you think looks best, because that's all I would put there. I'd just put an embossing. For material, all right, the base is white iron. The base is white iron with 3 changes, okay? The head is silver. The arms are gold, and the legs are bronze. It won't matter what you do to the legs, honestly, in my opinion, but I mean, just what do you do? Now, why did I do these? Okay, so the white iron affects the buttons running down the sides of the armor, which I think look good as white. The head is silver because I don't want it to just be white, I want it to be a gem. For the arms, I want those gold, and for the legs, it doesn't really matter because the legs aren't armored anyway, so well, whatever. But that is what I used for the material. For the back, I use the Canopy 3 again, but this time the symbol is the Shrine 7, which you get at Reputation 29, level 5, and it just shows his devotion and balance and wisdom, right? For the legs, nothing. For the colors, Ready for the color scheme, guys? The color scheme is Grove, which you get at Reputation 25, level 20. Doesn't that just look really pretty? I love the black and yellow look. I just think it looks really nice. So I think that this is an excellent look for our boy. This is an excellent look for Tao Jingyi. All right, now for his feats. I use Key Trap, Thick Skin, Heal on Block, and Scout. Key Trap just because he's wise enough to know how to set a trap. Thick Skin because he's been fighting for such a long time, he knows how to endure a lot of blows. Heal on Block because, hey, when you're this smart, sometimes your mind is all you need to heal yourself, and that means that you're so good, you can heal on a freaking block, right? And then for the final feat, I use Scout. Now, a lot of people would say you should use Blessed Projection. I'm not going a supernatural angle with him. I'm using Scout because he's wise and knows how to look out for the enemy. For executions, I use Brawling Shaolin, Cartwheel, Sylvan Detachment, and Shuapeng. All of these, Cartwheel, Brawling Shaolin, and Shuapeng, show his great skill and style. In Sylvan Detachment, okay, I know that I said that I wasn't going full supernatural on him, but I just feel like that's like a key attack right there. Like he's just striking him with such force and style that it's actually blowing his spirit out of him. It's crazy, I know. I sometimes contradict myself. No, I don't. For his effects, Lookout and Sylvan Meditation. For combat, Zhuo De Hao and Manzhuo. Now the funny thing is, I would go with others, but the problem is this guy isn't silly, and all of his other emotes are silly. Look, Gigi, you're the monkey. Zhuyang Daming just looks weird. Watch Yourself is kind of silly, and Get Over Here is again kind of silly. I'm looking more for the character who's more honorable, you know? So anyway, signature, I go with Access Denied because he is old, he's tired, but he's still got it where it counts. You know what I'm saying? No, I wasn't going for a full Lord of the Rings thing, and I know that's what this is in reference to. I know that this is a reference to Lord of the Rings, but I just feel like this fits him because, you know, he is the strong, wise mentor. For effects, all right, Wulin Victory for the Idol. Execution, I use Whirlwind for his normal executions, but not the Sylvan Detachment, because he is a rapid whirlwind. And then nothing else for his free roam or combat. And that is how you build Tao Jingyi. Tao Jingyi. So, what do you guys think of this guy? Let me know what you think in the comment section. Let me know if you want to build him yourself, if you like his style and his story. Would love to hear your thoughts. And that, everybody, are all the Blue Dragon core characters that I have created. What do you think of this team of absolute units that we've created? I'm very proud of them. Again, if you want to know how to build Lin Meihua or Tao Jingyi yourself, go check out their legend videos and their how-to videos. They already exist. But what do you guys think of all the characters now? Do you like the Blue Dragon core? What do you think about Tian Xilong? Do you think he should make a go to become the new emperor? Do you think he should challenge General Zhe? Do you think that there should be a story about Tian Xilong challenging General Zhe? I would love to hear your thoughts on this. Let me know if you think that the two should actually go at it and who you think should be the more worthy Wulin general or Wulin commander. Let me know. Would love to hear your thoughts. And as always, guys, I will see you in my next video. Take care.